Have pioneered a revolutionary approach for saving patients on death's doorstep.
Yeah, this is so interesting. They found a way to safely use a damaged liver to replace a dying liver, then cure the damaged liver of its disease. In our Insight report, Heather Simonsen shows how this counterintuitive approach to organ transplant is opening doors and restoring lives.
We reach 50K and then we retroactively pay that 3%.
Lorenzo Swank owns a software development and project management company. He went on regular trips to Korea, but his health problems began 11 years ago and worsened until he couldn't ignore them any longer. You were uncomfortable.
I could not sleep on the flight. I could not sit down on the flight.
His doctors gave him the diagnosis, liver failure.
My heart dropped. I could feel the blood draining from my face again. And I thought, there are all these things in life I'm not going to be able to do.
He had primary sclerosing cholangitis, which slowly damages the bile ducts in the liver. Doctors put him on the transplant list.
And I waited in a lot of pain from May until September, worried as I got closer and closer to that time that there wouldn't be a transplant for me.
This year, over 13,000 people will be added to the liver transplant waiting list of around 17,000 people. Only 7,000 received a transplant in 2016. About 1,500 people die each year while waiting, and another 1,700 get removed from the list for getting too sick to survive a transplant.
So we had three perfect storms. We had a deteriorating patient with fluid, a deteriorating patient with yellowness, and then last week we had a marker suggesting that he had a cancer.
Last September, Lorenzo was still waiting for a transplant.
I was pretty sure I was going to die on that day.
Dr. Gilroy presented him with an option: accept a liver from a deceased donor who had hepatitis C. Ironically, hep C is the most common reason people need a liver transplant. But doctors chose one from a younger donor whose liver didn't have scarring. It would be the first time ever in the U.S.
I thought, okay, we have a pathway. I like this. Let's go forward.
The surgery was a success.
After the transplant, you have a lot of time to think. And I thought, this is really a second chance at life.
Now Lorenzo had hep C as well. He took medications for 3 weeks to cure him. And at this checkup, his liver is as good as new.
What we see is a normal appearing liver.
You go from being completely sick and completely tired all the time to having a new liver. And even if that liver is fighting hepatitis C a little bit, it's better than you've known your entire life.
Just 2 weeks after transplant, he went hiking in Park City.
It's fantastic to be part of a process where you give people back what they lost.
Lorenzo's real moment of triumph was just days after his transplant, when he walked outside in the rain.
Well, I sat down right in front of the fountain, and the rain just poured on me, and I just cried because I was alive. I was feeling the rain. I knew that I was going to live.
Heather Simonsen, KSL 5 News.
Wow. One other patient at IMC has had the same transplant surgery and is doing well. We're happy to report Lorenzo has not had any complications.